Welcome back to day 2 of my Royal Caribbean Anthem of the Seas vlog series. Today is a sea day, and with the clocks going forward an hour, I made the decision to have room service breakfast as I had nowhere else to be. This is the continental option, which is free. There is an upcharge for a cooked breakfast, but I didn't think that was necessary. And as I sat on my balcony, I was thinking about the day ahead and tonight's meal at Wonderland. So let's see what else the day had in store. Afterwards, I headed to the music hall to watch a presentation of the ports we would be visiting and the relevant information for each one. La Rochelle was the first destination and required a free shuttle to the town from the port should you wish to leave before 12:30. A ticket was required to ride the shuttle, which could be collected either this afternoon or tomorrow morning. If you wanted to get off early, you really had to be quick. By the time I got there, late morning departures were all they had left. I also found out that the shuttle to Bilbao was €10 each. If you're going here, make sure you have cash for a much quicker trip. The ship docks right in the harbour at La Coruña and Vigo, so no shuttles required here. You can walk right off the ship and head straight into town, which is much easier. I found this presentation to be really useful, as I hadn't cruised to these ports before, so it was great to have these tips to make most of my time there. Another of my favourite things to do on a sea day is to go to the main dining room for lunch, and this time I was going to the American Icon Grill. I really liked this plaque on the floor and was quickly sat over by a window. The menu looked really exciting, with quite a few things I'd like to try. If you're interested in studying the menu, feel free to pause the video. The bread service came out first, followed by the salmon salad, which came with peaches. I've not had that combination before, and it was just so fresh. And the smoked potato soup was hearty and filling. For mains we had the Mediterranean lamb pitta, which was really delicious, and the spaghetti bolognese, which was nice but not as good as homemade. And I had the fresh fruit salad for dessert. Overall, after a disappointing meal at the MDR last night, this was much improved, and again the service was faultless. And I thought the decor in here was absolutely spot on. Next up was a slot pool competition down in the casino. This isn't organised by Royal Caribbean, but by someone in the cruise Facebook group. It cost $20 for 3 pools on the Wheel of Fortune, and whoever gets the most money wins the pot. And the winnings on the machine were shared amongst all the contestants. We didn't win big, but we did get $9 back, and it was a great way to meet a lot of new people. It was a beautiful day, so the pool deck was going to be where I spent the rest of the afternoon. And these pineapple cocktail specials turned out to be very popular. To be honest, I thought that they were quite expensive. After what had been one of the longest winters that I can remember, it was just nice to spend some time out in the sun. I then headed over to the North Star Bar to watch those who paid to go up in the North Star itself get raised high over the ship and out to sea. There is a North Star import option which is free, but I knew I could work out a way of having an at-sea experience without paying. And I'll show you exactly how I did that in an upcoming vlog. And after a great afternoon, it was time to get ready for the evening. Tonight is formal night, so I headed back to the cabin for a shower and to get my suit on. I booked a meal at Wonderland, which is one of the specialty dining restaurants on board. It's themed around Alice in Wonderland, and the first choice was which of the cocktails to choose. The menu is a blank sheet of paper that by using the paintbrush and water you swipe across to reveal the choice of food. Nothing here is quite what it seems. And after the menu was fully revealed, I was still a little bit confused as to what was going on. There were starter dishes based around sun, ice and fire, and earth and sea entrees. It seemed to be a case of choose your mains, and if you'd like, a selection of starters will be brought out to you. And this is the slightly blurry finished article. My cocktail was a smoke rings, which was whiskey, vermouth, maple syrup and Angostura bitters.
Abra, cadabra. Here comes the bird's nest. Okay.
And with even more smoke was the bird's nest, which were like deviled eggs which came in a bed of noodles with mustard, spiced mayo, sriracha sauce and blue cheese. This dish was packed with flavour and plenty of heat. The reconstructed caprese had a tomato which had been deconstructed and remoulded by blending it with savoury items and adding Bloody Mary to make it shine like a real tomato again. And it came on a bed of bocconcini cheese, tomatoes and olives. These crispy cones have wasabi and Alaskan crab meat for me and bacon for my other half as she doesn't eat seafood. Then there's avocado at the top and you actually eat it from the bottom up so it cools the heat from the wasabi. The Mad Hatter's crispy purple shrimp was covered in the same noodles as the bird's nest, and the shrimp was marinated in lemon, lime and orange. Beneath is a Scotch bonnet foam blended with mayonnaise and sriracha sauce. It was difficult to believe that we had this much food and it was only the starters. And the liquid lobster was an absolute highlight. The ribbed delicious short rib came with mashed potatoes and varying sauces. The meat was so tender it just melted in the mouth. I had the halibut that was supposed to come wrapped in paper, so I was quite surprised to see it come out in a plastic bag. It came with mushrooms, 2 marbled potatoes in a mushroom sauce. And despite what it looks like, it was absolutely amazing and there was just so much of it. More cocktails followed with the Cheshire Cat Cosmo, which was vodka, Cointreau, lime and cranberry juice and raspberry candy floss.
Now he's disappearing again. Alright, beautiful. Cheers.
The White Rabbit Rita with tequila, Cointreau, blue curacao and lime juice. We were recommended 2 of the desserts. The World, which is this huge chocolate sphere with peanut butter ganache, chocolate mousse and salted caramel ice cream. And the Mystical Mushroom Garden, with white chocolate mousse, red velvet, meringue and mango sorbet. And those small mushrooms were just so spicy. The meal here was an incredible experience and well worth the money. Be prepared to be completely amazed. The only thing missing was the Mad Hatter himself, who does appear at Wonderland on other ships. Just across from Wonderland is the Bionic Bar. This is where a robotic bartender makes either a drink of your design or one from the extensive menu. There are touch screens surrounding the bar where you place your order. If you have the deluxe beverage package, your cocktails here will be included up to the value of $15. It's all quite clever and a little mesmerising to watch. Obviously it's a bit of a gimmick, but it's also a fun way to pass the time. Just have to place your C-Pass on the RFID reader and your drink slides down to you. Once the drinks were made and collected, I headed down towards Vintage's to chill out for a little while. I headed outside as at this time of year it's still light at 9:30. I was hoping to catch the sunset. Grease was shown on the big screen. Cue jokes about the real ages of those teenagers. I thought that I'd missed the sunset, but after going back to the cabin, I had just caught it. You really can't beat a sunset at sea. Tonight's entertainment was going to be in the music hall. Firstly, the band Rhythmocracy were banging out some great tunes, before the adult-only 18+ game show called Majority Rules. Some of the answers were very risque, and I was very surprised that parents and Royal Caribbean allowed children to be in there.
We have in the back of a Volkswagen, very specific, very specific on the car. We have behind the bike shed. Okay. I'm going to say this one at the end right here. I'm not going to read that one. That's a good one. Are you a Terry's chocolate orange? Because I want to bang you on the table. Jesus Christ. I'm being recorded right now. Holy crap. This one I really can't read. I'll get in trouble if I read that one. No, I can't read that one. I can't read it. I can't read it. I can't. All right, so I'm going to preface this one right here. I did not write this. I'm just reading what is written here. This is an adult game show. I can't read that. I can't read.
And after an audience member had finally read out the answer, which was far too rude for YouTube, Rhythmocracy came back out to play some more. There really shouldn't have been kids at that show, especially when there were so many other venues for families and children. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that children should be allowed in adult-only shows? Please let me know in the comments below. To end the evening, I went to Sorrento's for a little bit of a late-night pizza. Which was eaten outside of the Brass and Bop pub while the guitarist played Oasis covers. Little did I know how often I'll be hearing these songs over the next few days. Hopefully I won't hear them again for some time. Many thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on.